Thank you, Captain Sharma, for the kind words. Good morning, everyone. So today we have gathered here to deliberate on future maritime studies. And me being HR person, I have a lot to say, but Mr. Marnosh has given me shocking expression when he saw number of pages I'm going to read here. So, okay. So it's not just reading, I'm going to open out my heart, talk about maritime studies, the challenges, and how the future looks to me. So here I am. I've tried combining some part of evaluation of virtual learning, challenges in maritime studies and future maritime studies, as I find all of them interlinked. Maritime sector has been influencing the global economy, shipping, and shipping is truly global in nature. It can easily be said that without shipping, the intercontinental trade of commodities would come to a standstill. Maritime education enjoys a unique status amongst traditional education and fields of study. The uniqueness is born out of two important factors. One is that the maritime courses are compulsorily built on global standards. And the second is the curriculum in maritime studies is still evolving, unlike other sectors. Maritime training is really very relevant for our country because almost 15% of the global seafarers are Indians, 15 mind you, which is a large number. The commercial shipping all over the world is manned by Indians, so we are not talking just the operating people, but we are also talking of those people who are ensuring that we have enough business or the ships are manned or the businesses are run properly. So education and training are being recognized as vital to the development and success of today's knowledge society. Today the watchword is smart, and it does not stop at smartphone. Our endeavor is to be smart in learning, smart in working, so that we can have more efficient and safer ecosystem. Smart learnings are critical to achieve. Performance beyond compliance is required. So with more digital learning, we foresee an opportunity for maritime industry to work in an open and transparent environment rather than one based on infrastructure of separated and disconnected learning events. The pandemic has certainly accelerated the move towards an open online maritime training ecosystem and has given way to a need for longer term thinking that can capitalize on the advances in immersive online learning, cloud-based remote simulation as well as virtual and augmented reality to equip mariners to perform in a rapidly changing digitized maritime industry. Now, virtual trainings offer the flexibility of training to those seafarers who are located across the region. I will take a pause for some time until I get some attention from you. Thank you. Okay, so virtual training offers seafarers the flexibility of training whenever or wherever they are on the planet, and without need to be in a particular location or time zone, saving their employees and employers both time and money. We HR people frequently use the term connect with people, connect with leadership team, connect with people around you. But today in virtual world, connectivity is the key. Connect and connectivity both are part of the experience that we want to give it to our participants or people who are participating in any of the sessions. We need to spend more time on curating the programs in such a way where we not only help people to understand the content, but also leave them with good experience. Taking a poor classroom training experience and putting it online only creates a poor online training experience. There are excellent and poor examples of both online and classroom-based trainings. We must understand in both types of training, the testimony of good delivery is engage participants applying the learnings in day-to-day life. Now, technology offers a lot of unique benefits. One is access to the training. Today, virtual platforms expand access to educational programs at all levels. It can bring training to those who might not otherwise have this opportunity. For example, e-learning systems are excellent at providing deep learning metrics and analytics. This is a real-time data about how well your trainees are performing and where the gaps are. This allows you to continuously improve training and close gaps in training before they become safety or performance issues. Virtual mode allows us to create more flexible training modules. Now, while we are talking about advantages of virtual learning, we must also know the improvement that is needed in distance learning. We also need to understand today, shipping business is no longer limited to transportation of cargo and its management, but has metamorphosed into a massive industry which covers a variety of activities including maritime finance, port and shipping management, brokerage, warehousing, custom house clearing, logistic and supply chain, law and insurance. Most importantly, technology is moving on its own pace. It is very difficult to stop or slow down the development of technology. So maritime education needs to keep the pace with that, and now that's where the problem is. We need to work on more standardization. Today, aviation industry, when you see more standardization, but our maritime industry is still lacking standardization. I think that's where all the stalwarts need to work for, because we are lacking there. Another influencing factor in maritime training challenge is the way shipping companies are operating. The strategies towards cost management. Most businesses, when they are through the cyclical industry pressure, they adopt a cost strategy to survive in the market. Thank you. Shipping companies all over the world have been focusing on cost reduction techniques. This leads to a shipper opting for minimum manning requirement. So obviously he wants them to be technically knowledgeable, having a wide array of domain expertise, and one who can substitute a dozen less knowledgeable personnel. The industry prefers its personnel to be well educated in formal system before they gain entry on board. The result is just more onus on onshore training or virtual training. The World Maritime University has identified three main issues with virtual learning. Those are: one, learners; second, instructors; and the third one is curriculum. For a successful distance learning delivery, the participants need to regulate their own activities. Mind you, participants have to regulate their own activities. Okay. Instructors need to efficiently use the technology available. I mean, if we are not aware how to work with and around technology, then it's difficult to deliver a very effective session. And the curriculum needs to align with the teaching modes and valid assessments. These areas are of a particular importance in education to maritime education and training in respect of the certification requirement for safety, security, and environmental protection. Maritime education is global, and we all know that. It's not something which is limited to a particular nation. The syllabus comes from International Maritime Organization, which is the part of United Nations agency. And that is made more elaborate by the Maritime Administration in the country. In our case, is Director General of Shipping. To keep the syllabus up to date is a big challenge because it's not very easy for a STCW convention to incorporate the amendments that are all the time getting updated. IMO amendments are not very easy to bring in. Therefore, not only Maritime Administration but the universities and college administration must be little open and little bit flexible in the syllabus. It cannot be very rigid, and that is where the industry comes. That's where such forums come. Now, while the challenges are visible, the leaders, as we all are leaders in our respective line of work, so I think as leaders we must discuss solutions. With my experience and understanding, the answer is in 3 C's, and those 3 C's are collaborate, combine and communicate. So, thank you. So when I say collaborate, I mean the online world has become more and more ingrained in our working lives. The need to collaborate more to further enhance efficiencies becomes particularly unavoidable. Digital learning provides industry stakeholders with an opportunity to collaborate in the creation of a maritime learning ecosystem that is an enabler to more efficient development of seafarers and effective assessment of their competencies, and which will unlock their expertise in this challenging and competitive environment. The Indian Maritime Grand Strategy proposed by the government and stakeholder calls upon the policy makers and experts to work in collaboration and learn from each other. So such forums, the Littoral and many other forums which are working towards it, are very, very important because deliberation and of course deliberation followed by action is the need of yesterday, and we must focus, we must channelize. The second C was combine, and by combine I mean nothing but blended approach. A very common and highly effective approach is having trainees, or it could be just the participant of any training session, pre-train them remotely using e-learning, using the digital platform, and then converge at a central location for a shorter, more effective face-to-face experience. More importantly, if you combine online and face-to-face training, you get significantly better outcomes than if you employed either styles of training alone. This gives us an opportunity to make real training improvements and take maritime training to the next level. My third C is communicate. People should talk about the best practices. Best practices in the business, in personal life, brainstorm. Communicate accurately, I mean it. Communicate accurately and frequently. Today we talked about, Commander Sharma spoke a lot about mental health, and that's vital. Without that, I don't think so the survival is something that we can talk about. Technical knowledge, technical expertise we can impart. What we are not able to impart is the mental health, and that's where we all need to focus today. Data is essential part for any improvement or innovation. So communication is again vital for that data. So synergies are essential to build a better world. I would like to conclude my session with a quote which is deep. So I will need your attention, utmost attention. This quote needs to be understood well to know the quality that is expected out of us when we facilitate a training or we participate in any training. So the quote Yeah, I want Mr. Raja Vaiz's attention for this particular thing, for this quote. Okay, so the quote is very important. I find it very deep because I read it twice, I heard it twice just to understand what does it mean. So the quote is like this: in times of crisis, we don't rise to the occasion. In times of crisis, we don't rise to the occasion, but fall to the default level of your training. Okay. And it is so deep that we need to understand what kind of quality training we are ready with. Are we ready with something? Are we curating? Are we working towards it? Because this has to be really true, because we cannot fall below that training standard. Okay. So I would like to conclude my session with that, but before I do that, it's incomplete if I don't thank Littoral. If I don't thank Mr. Raja Vaiz for what the work that he is doing is amazing. His landscape, the people that he has networked with is amazing. Thanks to you for giving me this opportunity. It's my pleasure to be with stalwarts of the industry, and all my co-speakers are certainly, they're learned, they're well experienced. I'm going to learn a lot today, and thank you for this occasion. Thank you. Talking about HR, because that's my forte. All my life I have been a people person. It's a very sad or ironical thing that people look at HR as just one administrative person who can take care of papers, the personal files and all. But today HR has evolved into modern HR, where people are talking about culture. Culture, the strongest pillar to build that culture is your HR person. Always remember that culture or the person's well-being cannot be achieved if you do not have a strong HR with you. Today, business partner, HR is known as business partner. Why? That question I always ask people, because I am very clear why I am being called as a business partner, because HR actually can work as a business partner by strategizing the human element, strategizing how the people should be there with the organization, what kind of talent is required by the organization, what is the future of that talent. So it is both ways. We are a bridge between the management, the leadership, and the employees of the organization. And I take my work very, very seriously. And when I say serious, it's more about my passion. It has been my passion. It will always remain passion, because people are very interesting. Everyone is different, talking to different personalities, understanding them. Because when we were talking about mental health, I must tell you, sir, today HR is not just a conventional HR. HR is a person who can counsel, who can coach, who can guide its employees and leadership team as well. And I have been doing that work for a very long time. And that's the reason I am trying to open up, rather I have poured my heart here, saying that HR is the need of today and tomorrow, because without HR we cannot strike the balance that we are looking for. Thank you so much once again. And I want all of you to enjoy the remaining part of the session. So thank you.